Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So let's talk about Prince Harry and the story that he wanted everybody to believe, but which we know, thank goodness, is a flat out lie, an outrageous lie about catastrophic car chase. But first, before we begin, it's important to remember that Harry is the commissioner of misinformation at the Aspen Institute. And he's come out and said how misinformation is a global humanitarian issue. Global, of course, because he doesn't believe in the sovereignty of nations. And then, of course, here's an article confirming that fact, one of many. Prince Harry appointed as commissioner at Aspen Institute to tackle misinformation in the media. Can you see it? This is not the first time he has been using the media to lie and lie and lie. And also, so it's, the hypocrisy and evilness of him being put in charge of the Aspen Institute to tackle misinformation, which gave him a lot of power to be in touch with all the government and big tech and censoring people and deplatforming them. And also, how does he get that power? Well, one way, a major way, is that George Soros funds the Aspen Institute. And interestingly, I came across this article from last year. A shadowy organization funded, which is the Aspen Institute, funded with millions from radical leftist billionaire George Soros, is now pushing for less digital surveillance and a freer world for abortion. The Aspen Institute held a virtual roundtable to strategize how women can have secret abortions. The meeting followed soon after a Supreme Court leak. The Aspen Institute hosted speakers from a variety of powerful leftist groups, including Omidyar Network and the Ford Foundation. One guest, Ron Wyden, attacked pro-life advocates as extremists. So behind the scenes, two organizations with George Soros' Open Society Network previously funneled mass amounts of cash into Aspen Institute, totaling $3,039,780 between 2003 and 2020. The Aspen Institute's radical pro-abortion guests revealed that George Soros' multi-million-dollar investment is likely helping to pave the way for abortion advocates. So, why is George Soros and Harry and the Aspen Institute, why are they getting together to talk about how to have abortions? Why does that matter to George Soros, who funds BLM and Antifa, who's killing Americans left and right, and bringing in these illegal immigrants over the border, and they're dying on the way up here. I mean, there's people being raped and murdered going through Central South America. Why is he so concerned about abortion? Why does he want abortion so much? Besides, mainly, I think my theory is because he's just evil. Satanists love abortions because it's human sacrifice. And I mentioned in the last video, several videos, I'm sure, that part of the power that these evil radical lefties, who are all Satanists in my opinion, they get their power from sacrificing humans. And so abortion is it empowers them. Without sacrificing humans, they lose their evil power, or some of it at least, I assume. It's because obviously it's very, very important to George Soros that abortions keep happening. And this is all discussed at the Aspen Institute. This is a major meeting at the Aspen Institute last year. And who belongs to the Aspen Institute but Prince Harry? He's not only belongs to the Aspen Institute, but he's a commissioner in charge of misinformation. So Harry, this is Harry's group. Harry is with a group that wants to fund and keep abortions and have as many abortions as possible. Harry is the Aspen Institute's Commissioner of Information Disorder. Harry said he had concerns over avalanche of misinformation. So speaking of misinformation, let's look at this little story. Paparazzi in New York, allegedly. So here's a few stories of what I want to look at what Harry wanted you to believe. This is a lie Harry was pushing with his PR here. Harry says car chase with Meghan was the closest he felt to understanding Diana's death in harrowing account. So again, bringing up his dead mother, aligning him with him and Meghan. This is the headline he wanted everybody to run with. Prince Harry said, now remember, this is before it started imploding. This was released right after the story was, released as a breaking news story. Prince Harry says being chased by paparazzi for more than 2 hours was the closest I have ever felt to understanding what happened on the night Diana died. Harry told friends that the incident could have been fatal and that they were both very shaken up, although pictures say otherwise. So there's one lie, two lies, well, three lies really. Number one, it didn't happen. Number two, it couldn't have been fatal. Number three, they were not shaken up. Unless they were shaken up from doing LSD, then yeah, maybe that. Cocaine, perhaps. Oops, I probably should have said that word on
All right,
YouTube.
shopping list: bread, milk, pasta, eggs, mayo, cocaine. Just kidding. All right.
Careful. A spokesman for the Sussexes said they were involved in a near catastrophic car chase, line number 4, by paparazzi photographers in New York City Tuesday night. The New York Police Department confirmed that there were numerous photographers following Harry and Meghan that made their traveling challenging. Yeah, there were a few that took a few pictures when they were stopped in traffic. Ooh, ah. Sources close to Harry and Meghan said one photographer's car had collided with a parked vehicle and there had been several near misses, including one involving a police officer. Not line number 5. Prince Harry has been outspoken about security of his family after his mother was killed in Paris. The couple who were traveling with Meghan's mother. Okay, so they bring her mother along for the mother factor, right? So Meghan's gonna come out and say, "I almost lost my mother the way Harry lost his mother." Oh, here we go. That's coming. That's coming. Brace yourselves for that one. Meghan's waiting to release that in the New York Times, the New York Slimes. Oh my goodness. He said Harry claimed that he issued a statement. Harry and Meghan issued a statement claiming highly aggressive paparazzi, line number 6, had harassed them, line number 7, chased them through red lights, line number 8, and caused multiple near collisions, line number 9. The cars mounted the pavement, line number 10, and reversed down a one-way streets during the chase, line number 11, which the Sussexes claims lasted 2 hours, line number 12. You gotta find some entertainment somehow in this, right? It's counting their lies. So many lies, right? Oprah Winfrey interview was like what, 13 or 78, or various numbers. So I will be the first to come up to a tally. I think I'm the first to come up with a tally of how many lies they tell in this lying story, this lying misinformation. It's understood following the awards ceremony, Harry and Meghan were staying at a friend's house. That's probably a lie too, so we'll add that. Lie number 14. They don't have any friends. and did not return directly to avoid compromising their security. Lie number 15. They drove around to get their picture taken. After attending all buildings in nice parts of New York are doorman buildings. Nobody can get by the doorman. Everyone knows that. There's no way. It was no danger. Anyways, and plus each building has like 30 floors, so it's like not like they know exactly where they were staying. So that's 15 lies. So after attending the Ms. Foundation for Women's event, the trio left shortly before 10 p.m. But after being followed, they reportedly sought refuge. Line number 16. They weren't seeking refuge. And you know what I thought at the police station? You know what came to mind with Meghan going to the police station was the fact that she claimed that she went to HR at the palace. Like, I was trying to get help. I was feeling suicidal, so I went to talk to someone in HR, the head of HR. They said they couldn't help me. So she was like doing things to like have a paper trail so she could come back later and wield that as a weapon against the royal family. So that's why they went to the police station. just to do that. So they could say, we had to go to the police station. See, I can prove it, you know. They then changed vehicles using a taxi in an effort to lose the paparazzi. Line number 17, they were going to lose them. They weren't trying to. However, they wanted the paparazzi to take their pictures of the police station. You know that. Oops. I just lost it. Sorry about that. Let's go back here where I was. Almost done here. So, however, the vehicle and its occupants were spotted by photographers, and the taxi returned them to the police station after 10 minutes. The taxi driver, Sukhchan Singh, confirms that he was pursued by two cars. The Washington Post, yeah, lefty magazine. They kept following us and were coming next to the car. They took pictures as we stopped and were filming us. I never felt I was in any danger. Following the incident, the mayor of New York told reporters that he finds it hard to believe that a 2-hour high-speed chase took place. Yeah, so it's so ridiculous, their lies. Like even their buddy, the mayor, wouldn't confirm that. It's like it was just too over the top, crazy lie there. So about 15, 16 lies there they've been telling. 16 pieces of misinformation. Then of course People magazine, which kisses their butt, also, you know, went in with their story. And they're saying that they were on their way back to a friend's private residence. They were involved in a quote near catastrophic car chase. And the thing is, every time they talk about this car chase, they're like they were coming from Meghan getting an award. So this is a way for Meghan to get her award pumped up more. Like, where were you when you were almost killed in a car crash like Diana? Oh, I was just picking up my award for Women of Vision. So she gets to bring it together, and plus her pictures in the gold dress that she wanted everybody passing around. So she goes into her speech. I haven't gone into her speech. I'm not even gonna look at it. Like, ugh. Yeah, so okay, so this is like somewhat of the truth here. It says after the event, Harry, Meghan, Doria went back to a friend's private residence where they were staying and did not want to compromise the location to the public. So, in other words, what happened is they drove around for 2 hours, just driving around the block, which would have been painfully slow because the traffic is so bad and pedestrians and everything else. So it would take about 2 hours usually to go around one city block. You know what I mean? It could take that long, depending on traffic and everything else. So it's obvious they were doing it to get more pictures taken, I believe. And plus to have, so that way they could, you know, dot their I's and cross their T's. So they were circling around their building or the friend's residence, and then so they allowed the background to catch up. And then after allowing them to catch up to them and follow them around the block a couple of hours, then they decided, okay, we're being followed, we're being chased. And just driving around New York is hazardous. I mean, there's near misses all the time. People get hit, pedestrians get hit by cars all the time. It can be very dangerous. Just walking through New York can be very dangerous. You have to have your wits about you. Yeah. So, there's nothing unusual there as far as when you're in such a congested area, how easy it is for people to bump into each other, fender benders and whatnot. It happens all the time. But of course, everybody is traveling about 10 to 15 miles per hour, so it's very slow. Everyone's moving very slow. So if something does happen, it's not not at a high speed usually. But sometimes people get impatient and speed up if there's an open space, and that could get. But normally, it's not so bad. But anyways, yeah. So they were driving around for 2 hours, I believe, on purpose to be photographed. But I'm wondering how, Harry has paraded himself around as being the commissioner of misinformation, working with George Soros and radical lefties that he funds and obviously supports abortion, and how he feels about spreading all this misinformation and lies. Did he really think he was going to get away with it? I mean, if you're going to lie in the media, all right, so I can understand he's lying in the media because he wants to pump himself up and get good PR. But why make yourself the commissioner of disinformation or misinformation? Why, you know what I mean? Like he's he first puts himself up as an authority in fighting against misinformation, and then turns around and spreads misinformation left and right with his book, with his interviews, with this story. I mean, this is just the latest example. I mean, the Oprah interview, and again his book and Netflix, full of so many lies and misinformation. I mean, this is just the thousands and thousands of lies Harry and Meghan have told. I would imagine if you added them all together. Um, Are they? Is he just trying to mess with everyone's minds here? I mean, obviously, he's supported by George Soros and all that. Let's take a look at this. I mean, what was the whole point of this, and what his attitude is now? Many have pointed out Harry, or believe Harry is just mentally ill, and or evil, or both. But what is going on in his crazy noggin here? What's going on in that demented, demonic, possessed body there? What is he thinking? As well, I get at what the heck is Harry thinking with all this? Uh, trying to suppress freedom of speech and suing the media in Britain, and I'm sure, and I think that Harry and Meghan were attempting to sue Backgrid. They did tell Backgrid to hand over all the pictures and videos, but Backgrid's lawyer said, no, it's our property, screw off. So basically, I'm paraphrasing there, obviously, but yeah. Uh, let's take a look at this. I just want to look at Harry's frame of mind with all this evil Harry, dirty Harry, the Duke of Hazard. Let's take a look and see what the hell is going on in that brain of his. I mean, it seems like Harry's hatred of the media is real, and that, he makes up all these ridiculous stories, like in his book about seals singing to Meghan and his frozen Todger and Elizabeth Arden cream. I mean, he just makes this stuff up. You know it. So, and then him and Meghan with the Oprah interview talking about someone asking about Archie's skin color. And then the next interview with Tom Bradby, Harry's like, we never called the royal family racist. No, that never happened. So, I mean, he goes back and forth all the time, making up lies and playing around with the media. And I'm just wondering, like, what's the point? And then also, I'm going to look into how he feels about people who are truth tellers, exposing them. Because I wouldn't care. Harry wants to lie in his book and lie in interviews, but he's also deplatforming people and making them lose their work and their their businesses. He's getting people canceled. He also supports the Sussex Squad, which harasses people, doxes people. I believe they harassed Murky Meg in person. They also, I believe, are behind getting Yankee Wally deplatformed and getting her. She was financially swindled, I believe. And Christopher Boozy, the whole Christopher Boozy thing, hiring him. So I believe Harry is behind all of that. So Harry is making like personal attacks against private citizens, uh, which is completely diabolical and tyrannical, and shows his dictator. He's acting like Xi Jinping in America. So, um, he's attacking people, trying to destroy them, and supporting BLM Antifa, who's killed dozens of Americans, funded by George Soros, like I said, I believe, at least. So, yeah, so partly, anyways, at least, if not entirely. But Harry's behind all this. So Harry is not only a pathological liar, but also a dangerous criminal, murderous one. Uh, so, yeah, and he's always being given these platforms and positions of authority, like commissioner of misinformation. I mean, that is like right out of a Nazi and a Soviet, communist handbook there, right? The Chinese communist handbook there, right? That's all they're always about censorship. So I'm gonna look into Harry's mindset, crazy mindset with his dictator wife Meghan, using the spiral tarot. What is going on in that diabolical, evil mind of Harry that he's lying left and right like a lunatic, and then destroying and trying to destroy people's lives and livelihoods as a side gig? Let's take a look. What's going on with this demonic man and find out. Let's take a look here. All his lies. So I'm not just looking at the lie about being chased in New York, but also all his lies and the future lies, because he's not going to stop, right? Who's going to stop him? So until the royal family stops him, I guess, and the military, or someone steps in and stops him, gets himself arrested or something. Let's see. Diabolical Harry. So this general attitude about the whole thing with all this. Eight of Wands. Yeah, his idea is that he just barfs up. This is like his face here, barfing out news stories. So his idea of he just keeps everyone busy barfing out the news stories, because of course Meghan is naturally his sidekick in all of this, and Meghan loves attention in the media. Oh, give me more, give me more. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille, right? But also I think his theory is that if he just keeps coming out with more after one after another, like shotgun style, and that is how Harry and Meghan have been since day one. It's one thing after another, after another, after another. The bottom of the deck, Ten of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, there's the money, family money. He wants that royal fortune. He wants to take it away. You can see this as destroying the royal family, but also squeezing out as much money as he can from the royal family, right? You got the family in there, the family fortune. This is a very wealthy, we could look at this as the royal family. Because, I think that he's attacking them and using that, because see this as secretively. This could also be seen as the globalist, as George Soros and Bill Gates. He hangs out with Bill Gates as well. All the demons, evil demons on top. So they're all extraordinarily wealthy, right? Probably Epstein as well. I wouldn't be surprised. But he's trying to get as much money as he can and being with them secretively as well. So we know Harry and Meghan aren't working alone, obviously. Harry wasn't made commissioner of misinformation at Aspen on his own. That was given to him by, Soros. So, all right. So his general attitude is it's like his job or his attitude is just pumping out story after story after story after story after story. And the environment, what he's doing. Knight of Swords. Yeah. So this is his war, his personal war. He's a fighter. Again, a very murderous type of personality. He loves to kill, as he bragged about in his book. And he also wants to kill the media, and he wants to kill people's ability to publish and post anything they want, right? So he sees this whirlwind of media and social media, and he just wants to go in and attack it and destroy anyone, everything he doesn't agree with, right? Which is basically, but he takes it a step further. I mean, a normal person would just go online and debate online or whatever, become a troll. Like, he probably is one of the Sussex squads. He loves to fight. And of course, Knight of Swords air, but it's also very dangerous. This can be, uh, but I have it upright. So he's trying to find a legal way. He could very well probably do the illegal way of going around just killing people he doesn't like. But being who he is, naturally, he can't get away with committing mass murder crimes, right? He get caught right away. So instead, he tries to take the legal route of, this could be symbolic of like a commissioner of misinformation, and wanting to fight and destroy, the media, basically, people's ability to publish and self-publish. That is what he's all about. So what's the basis of it, why he's doing this? Seven of Wands. Defending himself, wanting to be, now Seven of Wands, he's up high above everyone else, right? So you always get this attitude with Harry that he wants to be seen as a hero, because with all of these criminal types, they not only want you to destroy your life and censor you and deplatform you, but they also want to be paraded around as these heroes, that they're fighting for the right. They're the good guys, and you should worship them, and you should build a statue for him, and you should just put him on a pedestal. So he really feels in his mind that he's just defending himself, and that he has the right to do it because he's so far above everyone else as a member of the royal family, and a member of the globalist family. I mean, now he's not with the royal family anymore, even though he has the entitlement that he's born with there. He's also has the entitlement of being a globalist with Bill Gates and Soros, so he feels above everyone and wants to just beat everybody into submission, and he feels it's his right to do so. He just feels like, yeah, that's the way it is. I'm in charge, and you peasants will do what I tell you, and that includes those peasant journalists and reporters. So a lot of arrogance here, no emotion. It's just very forceful, very angry, very he has nothing else to do is his problem. If he weren't so wealthy and had to get a real job, he would he wouldn't have the time or energy to do this. But that's the problem. He has too much money and too much time. So what inspired him to do this little gig in New York with the fake chase and everything? And again, I get the Ace of Cups, and I kind of get that in the last reading. So I do get sort of doing some kind of spell work here, doing some, this was very emotional. Obviously, they were trying to play on the emotions of people. It was new Ace. So he's trying to rile people up emotionally in his favor. And he always brings his mother into it. You could actually see this as his mother. The blonde hair here. You can kind of see it. He's taking out that emotional, explosion here that he wants, like, directly for the, I don't think I've heard him recently anyways directly align himself with his mother and to come out with a headline like, now I know how it felt to be my mother, but he's always saying things like, I'm my mother's son, and I get high on LSD and I talk to my mother, and all this other nonsense he comes up with. But yeah, so this story was one of a new way of in reality, besides in his fantasy on a drug high, druggie that he is. He doesn't see himself as a druggie or crazy, by the way. I should say that none of these cards, uh, he doesn't see himself as, he thinks he's right. He thinks he's thinking perfectly clearly, and he just thinks you're making fun of him, and you're all you people calling him a druggie, you're wrong, you peasants are wrong. He thinks he's right and you're wrong. And so he's using this emotional story of his mother because he's always, his entire life, basically, since he was 12 or 13, he has ridden on that sympathy card with the public. Anytime he does anything wrong, it's, but my mother died, So he's pulling out the mother card again. Megan's got a race card, Harry's got the mother card, right? So that's also trying to get people emotionally on his side, and trying to say, don't pick on me. I mean, I was just in a car chase just like my mother. uh I mean, again and again, harping on that because he thinks we're stupid. You wonder why he keeps saying things like, well, I've got to protect Megan and I need money for security because, I don't want her to die like my mother, basically. And, and then this, of course, pretending like he's experiencing things like his mother. He thinks that the public will just buy this, and generally the public that doesn't follow Harry and Meghan closely will probably just buy it. Like, oh yeah, that must have been scary for him. So what did he expect? What's he expecting with this lie and all the lies that he tells? Hanged Man reversed, major arcana. So I take this as, again, the notion of him being above it all. I keep getting these cards with him. I always get these together. These are like the cards in my view of just, in his case at least, of being above everyone else and everything else, and not having any repercussions to his actions, and any problems he has he can quickly solve with money or with his connections and power. So a major arcana here, high expectations of, and again, the rainbow of the New World Order, the globalist New World Order that he's flying with. So he is looking to play the victim again. Of course, him and Meghan are the pros at playing the victim. And, he just wants to uh, act like, he's above it all. I mean, and he doesn't, see, he's not going to argue with anyone. Right? Because you're too low to him to argue. He's not going to argue with peasants, those dumb peasants. He's just going to put out his press releases, and you just better accept them, or he'll censor you. I mean, really, such an attitude he has. Yeah, really cray cray. And he doesn't think he's crazy. He thinks he's all right. He thinks that this is his job and his destiny. And he thinks, okay, this is a spiritual card too of his mother, like, talking to him. Like, I think he, gets messages in his mind, his crazy mind. They're probably demons, though, really. But I think that he gets visions or something, or through his LSD trips, he gets messages from his mother of what to do, and so he got the okay from his uh, whatever he's speaking to. I'm not gonna speculate because you know what I think. So, yeah, that's another facet of this. It's a spiritual kind of thing, and the Hanged Man is also kind of a spiritual card. So he also thinks this is a spiritual mission. That he's on a mission here, like the Blues Brothers or something. So he's on a mission from God or his mother, and his in his warped thinking. He thinks this is his mission on Earth, what he was put here to do. Is really, really powerful, and really he's not going to stop. And he has nothing else better to do, and he has unlimited access to funds, and he's got people like George Soros funding things for him. So yeah, he's going to keep going. But all along, he's always going to be playing the victim. Like, poor me, everyone's just picking on me. Little Harry, his mother died. So what's he afraid of or not want? So what's he trying to avoid or trying to not happen here? Oh, that Four of Swords reversed. He doesn't want to be ignored and forgotten as the spare over here. And this is, yeah, Four of Swords reversed. And he doesn't want his mother forgotten either. I mean, I think he feels it's part of his job as well. Not only probably to torture the royal family too, but also to make sure his mother's not forgotten, to keep bringing it up. His mind, that's also part of his mission, is to keep bringing Diana up again and again and again. Don't forget Diana. Now, there are people at the coronation. There was one particular woman who was wearing a. You know, Harry and Meghan paid so many of those people there to wear their stupid signs and to carry their signs. People's Princess BS. We all know that. You know Harry and Meghan directly are behind that. No one in their right mind would come up with that. And plus, like I showed, the woman or the girl holding it that was wearing an Antifa mask to hide her identity. But I noticed there was another woman walking around. I saw a short clip wearing Princess Diana pictures all over her body. She was just wearing pictures of Diana. It was very bizarre. Now, of course, there are all kinds of people, but I kind of suspect Harry would be behind something like that because he seems to be very concerned with his mother not being forgotten and keep bringing her up and keep mentioning her and keep talking about her and keep reliving her. And yeah, I think it really bothers him, the idea that people have just moved on. He doesn't like that. How dare you move on? You should be talking about his mother. So that's one part of it. He doesn't want her forgotten. All right. And then what's he hoping for with all these lies and this nonsense he's telling? King of Cups reversed. Yeah, so I mean, as I'm sure all of you know and suspect, he is after Charles and William to torture them and to, yeah, torture them, but to keep bringing their mother up, and to, even though it upsets them, even though they don't like it, and he knows they don't like it, but too bad. He's thinking he's a warrior. He's gonna keep. I mean, no matter how much Charles and William have said in the past, he'll do something else, move on. He's like, no, no, I'm gonna keep it going, keep it going, and I keep bringing her up, and I'm gonna keep doing things. I'm gonna keep. So it's also to upset and piss off his father, and William mainly. And I think that's part of the reason he really attacks Camilla, even though yeah, maybe he really does dislike her, but I think it's more of an attack on his father and his brother really than Camilla. I think it's them that who he feels most angry about, because the people closest to you that you get most angry about, when you feel betrayed by them, or when you feel they're not doing the right things. So, according to Harry, but of course it's Harry doing the wrong things, but not from Harry's perspective. Harry thinks he's doing the right thing by being a warrior, by attacking people, by beating up on them, by deplatforming them, by constantly bringing his mother up and making all these lies. Yeah, so it's part of it is an attack on the media, but also part, again, bringing his mother up again and again and using the media to his advantage here while playing the victim with Meghan, and of course, again, with Meghan's help. How does Harry see? Now, we know that he gets people deplatformed. He has them attacked by the Sussex Squad and others, and Christopher Boozy. How does he? You would think he would like the truth tellers because they keep talking about it and keeping his story up, right? Uh, they are exposing the truth, though, unfortunately for him. Unless that's, I mean, yeah. So let's see. How does he really feel about the truth tellers? Oh, Nine of Wands reversed. Yeah, well, first thing I think is he wants to take them all down. He wants to remove them all naturally. And yeah, he doesn't see, this is upright. It's sort of like he's walking. They're behind him here, right? I see this as him, and he's pushing them back behind him. Like, you little truth tellers on YouTube and Twitter and elsewhere, you just shut up. I'm in charge here. I'm the dictator. I'm the wealthy friend of Bill Gates and George Soros, and you little peasants should just shut up, right? So, but I think that right now he's realizing he's overwhelmed by the number. And of course, it's secretive too. I can see this as secretive, and that he's also, I can see this as he's feeling overwhelmed and he can't push them all back like he used to. See, early on, when he and Meghan first got married, he was, outing the people in the public. He'd find people on Twitter who said something he didn't like about Meghan, and he'd take their picture and what they did for a living and post it in the newspaper. But now he doesn't have that. Now there's so many people that are onto his lies and his deceptions and his outrageous behavior and his crazy behavior, that he's feeling overwhelmed now by truth tellers, right? So it's very different than it was in the beginning, right? And in 2018 and 2019, there's only a few of us, but as time has gone on, it's multiplied and multiplied. Now you've got music videos, you've got skits, you get everything, all kinds of comedians. So it has been fodder for a lot of people to come out and expose them, which has successfully exposed. And I believe that's a major reason why they did not get away with the chasing around New York story. Back in 2018-19, they may have gotten away with that story. Because there wouldn't have been enough people following them, enough people pushing back against them. But now everybody's pushing back against them, right? Social media and mainstream media, no one's having it. So he is feeling overwhelmed right now. But he also sees us as, minor arcana here. So he's not intimidated. He's not going to shut up. He's not going to stop. He's above everyone else. He's going to try to push you down. You're beneath him. He doesn't have to listen to you. You're just some dumb reporter who's 100% smarter than him. You know what I mean? So he does feel a bit overwhelmed by the number of people now who are onto him and turning public opinion against him, Meghan, exposing them. Yeah, for sure, exposing their ridiculousness and their craziness. Yeah. So, and their political connections, all the power connections they have with the New World Order. So, what's we gotta do next? What's we gotta do next in the future? Ooh, Chariot reversed. Changing course here for sure, or doing something secretive, political here. I see the Chariot as his ambitions, what's driving him. I see his politics and his quest for authoritarianism and tyranny, but I see him maybe going underground like the globalists are now. You notice the Klaus Schwab and the rest of the globalists are very quiet right now as they're funneling illegal immigrants or refugees everywhere, part of their agenda. So I see Harry a part of that. So this could be him working underground, doing more censorship, doing more attacks online, deplatforming, or I could see him having to change his course now that he's been exposed as such a ridiculous, absurd liar. He's realizing that this shtick of Princess Diana is not going to go over so well as he thought it would, and him and Meghan may have to find a new tactic here in order to continue, pushing out the media stories and the Netflixes and the books and finding new ways to make money. Because obviously they were going to use this story to, use in their podcasts and books and whatnot. So I do see him having to change, reroute, or just give up on it. He may have to, but I don't think he'll totally give up on it because it's his entire being is resting on this, and his potentially the fragility of his whatever sanity he has left may depend upon it, because it's crash and burn here. And of course, this could also be seen as like the car. All right, this is a car. This could be seen as an automobile. See, this is a chariot. So reversed. Maybe he's going to stage a fake accident next. Maybe he's like, everyone's accusing him of lying, so maybe he's going to turn around and hire some goons or some, fake. I mean, I don't think a real paparazzi would do this, like Backman or anything, but he may hire some fake paparazzi type, criminals, hire them, probably Antifa, BLM, Sussex Squad, and have them pretend to be paparazzi and then chase him and make him and Megan get into, maybe a fender bender or like a real accident. So that's a possibility. He may go to an extreme here with a major arcana to do something on the world stage to try to say, see, you were wrong. We are chased by paparazzi. So he may have to take the next step and actually do some kind of fender bender or car incident or something like that. I don't want to say an all-out car accident. I don't see it being that bad, but he'll probably do something to make it to try to prove that he's right and that he's not lying, right? 'Cause in his mind, you just better believe what he says because that's that. He's not going to admit to lying. Him and Megan never admit to lying. They never admit to being wrong. Even though they're proven liars again and again, they have never come out and acknowledged it or apologized or anything, and they're not going to start. So he's not going to accept this failure of this story with the car chasing in New York. He's going to stick by it, and he's probably going to do something else to reconfirm it. So in the long term, how's it going to go for him with all his lies? Ooh, Seven of Swords. Ah, the trickster. I think that he's not going to stop. That's, him and the fox there. He's going to move on to the next lie and deception and make up more and more. And he's got the reputation now, and he's always going to be known as just a liar and somebody who can't be trusted. So, but he's getting away with it. He's going to continue getting away with it. So yeah, this is his life. This is where he's going. He's not going to stop, no matter what. And as long as he's enabled by all George Soros, Bill Gates, and all the rest of the globalists and his family, as long as he's enabled, he's got to continue doing it, continue lying, and continue pushing out misinformation, and continue playing the fall victim, which we all know he is not. And I should also mention what he's trying to push. What he doesn't want, what the reason he does all these lies and these stories, what he's trying to push away from. This is also, besides not forgetting his mother, this is Megan on the sofa or the armchair. Remember, she's on Netflix, boo-hoo-hoo, crying. So also, he doesn't want to listen to that. Oh man, she cries constantly around him, right? And on Netflix, every other scene was her crying about something. So also, he's trying. Megan basically, coerced him into this little scenario, this little blow up in the media as well. And he's like, "All right, Megan's getting her award. I bought her an award. She still wants more because people weren't paying attention to her at the awards." So he went the extra step with this Diana car chase. So it's for Megan as well, to keep Megan, to try to keep her happy. Yeah. He thinks he can keep her happy by continually giving in to her demands for these outrageous stories. She loves it. Like I said, she loves every second of this. You know that. All right, so I want to look at what he's doing next in the major arcana here, and I think in the mainstream media, he's going to do something on the world stage here next. Some crash and burn going on here. What does this mean exactly? What's going to happen here? Oops. Oh, look at this. This card just flew out. The mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Huh. And someone mentioned that Megan forgot to wear her spray tan at the event. Usually she has a lot of spray tan, but this wasn't the NAACP Awards, so it was with white Gloria CIA Steinem, so I guess she didn't bother with the spray tan. So anyways, what is this about? What's going to happen? What's Harry going to do next, or what's going to happen next here with Harry? What is this Chariot reversed about? What's going to go down here? Maybe will George Soros and the Aspen Institute fire him or something? See something going wrong, book? Something with his book or the next book he's gonna do? Stick, beating people down with that stick. Ribbon is another award. And then herb. Yeah, smoking some more of that Markle Sparkle. Yeah, a little bit more here. Oops. Okay. Did you notice his ear in the cab? His ear was bright red. What was that about? Why was his ear bright red? It didn't make any sense to me. I don't think it was just a picture and tooth. That megalodon tooth. Remember that story when Prince George got the oh, and I forgot this. I didn't notice this one. Owl. I also have owl. Watching everyone online. The owl being watched. Ooh. All right. So these are the cards I've got to describe the Chariot reversed. see what we can come up with here. And a little interruption here by the fur ball. Lulu wants to go out again. Want to go out? You want to say hello? Yeah, you want to say hello? I don't know if you can hear her purring a little bit there. Herbs, putting this, trying to look a positive spin on drug use. He's already said that he thinks drugs are great and they're foundational to his being. I mean, he really pushes drugs. I mean, it's not like, yeah, I do this because it makes me feel good and it helps me. No, he really pushes it and says, no, it's foundational. It's part of my daily life. And then he's spending time with teenagers, right? So I think part of his mission, his diabolical globalist mission, is to get kids, hooked on drugs. This could also be about big pharma, working with big pharma as well. Ear and tooth, listening and biting. Well, let's see. But the traditional, I'm going to look at the traditional definitions for these cards too. It's my first impression of, him just fighting tooth and nail here, And also I kind of see this, fighting back against what he hears, what you hear, not wanting you to hear anything, right? Doesn't want anyone to hear anything. But as far as, so I'm trying to get, what with this? All right, so this is self-reflection, but this is about what he's going to do next. So he's going to continue the fight, is what I get my first impression, against the media, against people on social media, beating them down. So the mirror is self-reflection, reevaluating your perceptions and vanity. So obviously there's no one more vain than Harry and Meghan. He calls us this kind of like a tiara up here, right? The appearance of being royal, the vanity of it, and wanting to seem so knowledgeable, and also publishing, I think, controlling that. But the traditional meaning of this is, let me see here, because publishing would be social media and internet as well as books and whatnot. Knowledge, education, research, communication, and escaping reality. Oh, yeah, that's another part of this. So, all right, so these two together can also indicate that, he's going to do something that's going to be feeding into his vanity and to his, lack of reality here. His escape, he's going to escape reality because, he and Meghan want to continue putting up appearances that they're this humanitarian globalist couple and they should just be worshipped, and they'll pull Nacho out of a hat again to talk about how wonderful they are, or they'll have other people come out. They'll pay people, no doubt, just like they paid that woman Saeed to come out and lie and claim that she saw the paparazzi chasing them, which is a total lie. Next we have the stick, which of course immediately with Harry I see as attacking people, beating, getting the platform and whatnot. But also this can be branching out on your own, and maybe represented may mean power or abuse. So the stick is also power or abuse. And of course, that's what Harry does. He abuses his power. And that's what the extreme radical lefties do, the tyrannical globalist lefties. They abuse their power. They're always taking power that they don't have, pretending like they have the power they don't. And of course, so this whole latest maneuver they did with having the mayor come in, I mean, what the hell is the mayor doing speaking about it? None of it made sense. And I heard Harry and Meghan insisted that the police make a statement. So Harry and Meghan do this little PR stunt for their own vanity, right? Their escape from reality. And then they use their abuse of power to push the police and the mayor of New York City to come out and make a statement about them. So, I mean, Harry and Meghan do this all the time. They're trying to push their status, like Meghan calling the Congress people, right? Meghan got all the personal phone numbers of all these congressmen and women, and we're calling them at home on their personal cell phone, saying, "Hi, it's Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. I want to talk to you about this, whatever she's lobbying for." So, again, Meghan and Harry are going to continue abusing their power in their vein unreal, not based in reality way. They keep pushing it. The owl I see as, monitoring everything, but also this can be ancient knowledge, intuition, deep mystery, and keen observations. So they are. I stick with that. Him watching everything, abusing his power online, on social media, and other places, and um, just watching everyone and using the information, policing information and deleting information he doesn't like. The globalists have been removing a lot of things offline. Some doctors at conferences talking about the COVID. They have said that there's a lot of scientific articles and other places with the truth about certain medications that the mainstream media didn't want people taking, and they said it was a horse medication when it wasn't. Well, there's certain things that are just disappearing off the internet, and normally when something's taken down off the internet, you can find it in the Wayback Machine or Internet Archive, but not the stuff. The globalists know how to remove things off the internet, and you can't find it with a Wayback Machine or anything else. And of course, we know that happened with Meghan when she first married into the royal family. There's a lot of shady stuff that she's involved in and done that was removed off the internet, and nobody can find it anywhere. But Harry's involved in that as well. That's why I'm kind of getting that owl, watching everything, information, knowledge, and publishing as well. I kind of get him involved in that, and perhaps this story in the future will disappear off the internet completely. Like, there may be a time in the not so distant future, if the tyrannical ones, the New World Order, do set in with their agenda, right? All of this could just disappear, and you'll never find it again. That's the power of being in control of the internet, which Harry is with the people who control the internet. All of it disappeared, and you'll never see it again. And that's why so many people are saying, hold on to your books, because all his knowledge online is poof. They'll just hit a delete button, and you'll never see it again. So the ribbon can be happy times, festivities, formal occasion, innocence, symbol of hope, feminine beauty, herb. So it has something happy here, a formal occasion, something with Meghan perhaps, feminine attractiveness involved in that. And then we have, could be his mother as well. The herb can be healing, medicine, something to add into your life or avoid. So the herb can also be seen as like a poison, right? Doing something. So what they're going to do next, I think, is going to be involved in all of this, all of their abuse of power, their vanity, their lack of being reality based, their insanity, and watching everyone and everything and doing so. I kind of see them somehow poisoning something beautiful, poisonous here, something beauty, poison, or some kind of, this could be a festivity or okay. Ribbon cutting is a royal thing, right? And of course, Harry and Meghan are trying to pretend to be royals, or they're mocking the royals, or they're destroying the royal family itself. So I see something with some kind of poisonous celebration or some kind of ceremony, or like an awards show would be something, festivity of some kind that Harry and Meghan are going to poison. They're going to do something that's going to, just like they did here, like they were at an awards ceremony that they made up for themselves, and they poisoned it with this little lies that they've told. So I see them doing it again. So Meghan does have another award coming up on, I think it's May 26th. So I think they're going to do something there possibly to try to bully people into submission for their lies. And I think they're going to do something, evil as they always do. Pulling their evil tricks again. Now the ear and the tooth. What's going on with the ear and the tooth here? So the ear can mean hearing news and listening to others and being aware of situations. And the tooth is, or can be, loosening something, losing something considered permanent, or a difficult separation or an illness. So they may, this could be about illness, listening to others. So I think that they're listening to what others are saying, and maybe they'll pull the illness card. The poor Harry, he suffers with mental health issues, and you're picking on him and causing more mental health issues. So he could be pulling that kind of stunt. This could also be pertaining to his, what's that app he does again? Better Up. Could be something dealing with that. So I see something, some kind of some kind of party or festivity or celebration for himself that he's going to be talking about his mental, maybe talking about his mental illness, or people will hear him and think he's mentally ill, and that's why it'll be a big fail here. So it's either addressing mental illness or exposing his mental illness again, which is probably most likely. But I do see him continuing his abuse of power here and monitoring the internet and watching everything in the media, particularly the media, mainstream media platforms. He obviously has it out for Piers Morgan and Robert Murdoch. So I do think that's his focus going forward. And he's got to do something pertaining to that. And of course, that's his court cases will be as well associated with that. But I see something else here with some kind of ceremony. I think Meghan's next award show, they're going to be pulling some poisonous stunt here. Maybe responding to what he's heard with this last one. Yeah. Yeah, so that is what I see with Harry going down, not going well for him. I don't think court's going to go well. I don't think that his abuse of power that he's been using, and his drug use, his trying to glamorize drug use, and what he's hearing, and also this lack of something permanent could be his title, maybe getting pulled. To pull a tooth, they might pull his title. I'll have to wait and see. That's what I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye bye.